The rush for uniforms is on. New tonight, with back to school just weeks away, there's more at stake. The Ministry of Education drawing a hard line on what students can and can't wear, linking dress codes to academic success. But first, South Andros residents hit the streets, fed up with what they say are broken promises and unfinished roads, but one MP calling it all a misunderstanding. Also, 24-year-old Wendrico Kerr accused of murder. Prosecutors allege he fatally shot Angelo Weish. We'll tell you the status of his bail and his next court hearing. Then in Our News at 7:30, we'll tell you the police officer who finds himself on the wrong side of the law, accused of trying to sell a stolen car. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. As the new school year approaches, parents gearing up for back-to-school preparations. Just 2 weeks left. Stores bustling with families picking up uniforms, supplies, and last-minute essentials. This year, the Ministry of Education making it clear what students can and can't wear, linking the dress code directly to a focus on discipline and academic success. Our Joshua Williams has more on the updated guidelines in about 5 minutes. But for now, South Andros residents took to the streets this morning demanding long overdue roadworks they claim have barely begun. This latest demonstration caps off a tumultuous week of protests across several islands over mounting utility woes. In addition to the urgent need for road repairs, frustrated South Androsians pressing the government to tackle a laundry list of other pressing issues facing their community. However, Leon Lundy, who is Member of Parliament for Mangrove Key, Central and South Andros, has dismissed the demonstration as misleading.
I find it both disappointing and disingenuous that the organizer, who is fully aware of the ongoing upgrades and the necessary improvements to the road, would seek to mislead the public and incite unnecessary unrest. The facts are clear. The road infrastructure has already undergone significant improvements, including an upgrade to asphalt materials, and the paving equipment is currently en route to South Andros. This individual's attempt to disrupt the community under the pretense that nothing is happening is nothing short of the deliberate misrepresentation of the situation.
Now, Julian Gibson, who organized the demonstration, argues that the problems extend far beyond politics. He insists supporters of both major political parties are outraged by what he describes as days-long phone and internet outages, crumbling roads, and nightly water shortages, a crisis he claims has persisted for nearly a year.
We had PLCs out there, and they looking into the camera, speaking to the government. This ain't about politics. This ain't about politics. It's about Andros getting its fair share of the pie. If the contracting is ready to start with, just let him get a grader and smooth it. Make the passage more smoother for residents who have to go up and down. If you can't do the whole road, smooth one side of the road. So when you pass the one side of the road I see you pass, then I could go past the next side. I would say the two most important issues right now is water. Everybody needs water, a good supply of water, to bathe, to wash, to cook with water, and then that road.
Politicians from both major parties recently working together to develop and implement a national development plan aiming to prevent the frustrating disruption of valuable projects and programs whenever a new party takes office. At a recent workshop organized in partnership with Inter-American Development Bank, Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis emphasized to stakeholders that the country's biggest challenge is not a lack of talent or determination among its people, but rather the risk of progress being stalled by short-term political cycles and shifting priorities.
To secure our future, we must rise above the limitations of electoral terms and commit to a long-term vision that transcends politics. Our promise of actions begins with political maturity. It is essential that we as leaders prioritize the national interest above all else. This means creating and safeguarding a framework that ensures the continuity of our national development plan, regardless of changes in government and/or administrations.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard echoed the minister's concerns, expressing hope that a dynamic national development plan could mitigate what he describes as tribalism, which he says has frequently resulted in a lack of continuity in good governance. However, Pintard also noted there are additional issues that the plan must address to ensure its effectiveness and sustainability.
We also believe that one of the greatest impediments to success with the National Development Plan work is a lack of transparency, failure of government officials to give account for decisions that they make or expenditure that they are in charge of. And finally, to say that corruption is one of the greatest impediments to good governance in general and any discussion we may have here today. And that is not just corruption confined in the political space, but even within the private sector. So it is my hope that discussions will be held with respect to the pieces of legislation that we ought to look closely at to ensure that we are complying with to guard against corruption.
Attorney General Ryan Pinder KC recently advocated on the world stage for more inclusive decision-making in global tax policy as the Bahamas seeks to prevent what he called unfair blacklistings. The news coming in a statement from the AG's office. Pinder, who was among dozens of world leaders that met to discuss global tax system reforms at the United Nations, represented the Bahamas on an ad hoc committee tasked with drafting the terms of reference for a framework convention on international tax cooperation and served as the Caribbean representative. The UN aims for the convention to create a system that is inclusive, fair, transparent, efficient, equitable, and effective for sustainable development. Following 3 negotiation sessions, the ad hoc committee approved terms for the framework convention. And as the new school year approaches, parents gearing up for back-to-school preparations with just 2 weeks left. Stores bustling with families picking up uniforms, supplies, and last-minute essentials, as we told you about at the top. Many parents also focus on getting their children back into a routine after the summer break. But when it comes to how your children show up to school, Joshua Williams tells us how the Ministry of Education is drawing a hard line on dress codes, linking them to academic success.
This notice sent to Doris Johnson Senior High School parents last week, sparking debate on social media. It outlines the uniform do's and don'ts for the upcoming academic year. Both girls and boys are not allowed to wear makeup, no necklaces or nail polish, and skirts must be 2 inches below the knees. But how does a student's dress impact learning? Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin says schools have to use their discretion while preparing the nation's youth for a world of rules and regulations.
It's part of the school discipline. It's what's required by that institution on coming in and being a member of it. It's part of the discipline. And so, when you're not on that premise, you can do whatever you want.
But there's also concerns about keeping students cool as their temperatures heat up. The education minister says it's something the uniform code will address.
This year, we will relax uniform protocols. So, for example, no tie during the summer months. And we're also looking at how we can improve ventilation in classrooms. But that's a variation this year on the uniforms. Maybe in the future it will be something, some schools have already done it themselves. L.W. Young has gone to I think they call it polo shirts. Different schools have done different things in their respective leadership.
T.A. Thompson's Junior High School principal Ishmael Smith also weighing in on the issue.
We are a former British colony where part and parcel of that is wearing a uniform. We know the strengths and the benefits of it in terms of identification, in terms of assisting the parents in having a reduction in the cost of providing multiple outfits. We also know in terms of students getting a sense of pride in wearing and representing their schools. Because we see that the benefits of it will outweigh the negatives of it.
But that's not all. The minister says codes of conduct will be introduced and delivered to every student,
which will set out what is expected of them, their behaviors, and what the consequences are. It's a disciplined environment. It's not a robotic place. It's a place for fun and interaction and socialization and creativity, all those things. But certain things are part of the discipline, and we will be requiring them on the campuses.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks for that, Josh. Meanwhile, Inland Revenue's back-to-school VAT holiday is on from now until the second week of September. Our Talia Hall reports later tonight how Grand Bahama businesses are seeing an early rush on essentials. That's coming up in Our News at 7:30. A 24-year-old man is in custody charged with a recent murder. Prosecutors allege Wendrico Kerr fatally shot Angelo Weish on August 10th. Weish's body, riddled with bullets, was discovered on a dirt road leading to the South Beach Canal. Kerr did not enter a plea to the murder charge during his appearance before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. Bail was denied, and Kerr is scheduled to return to court on January 30th to be indicted. On September 1st, that's this Sunday, will mark the 5-year anniversary of Hurricane Dorian's impact on Abaco and Grand Bahama. Tune in at 8 p.m. for a special 1-hour program with Megan Shepard, who will explore the rebuilding, progress, and future challenges. Key figures will discuss the strides made and ongoing concerns, particularly the housing shortage in East End, Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama Minister Ginger Moxie will also address government's response to these issues.
We've been doing a lot of home repairs in that area. We focused on those that are disabled, the elderly, some single moms. We've been able to get them back in their homes, and we've had some new builds as well. And I would say that the progress in East Grand Bahama has really been tremendous.
Another bone of contention, the fact no school has been rebuilt in the East since. Minister Moxie says that's about to change.
Right now, we're in the process of developing a comprehensive school for the area. The McLeanstown Primary, we initiated it through the Beautiful Grandmama program and starting to get it back together, and now we're well on the way for that school to be reopened in September. So you had students that, had to travel all the way from McLeanstown, Sweetingski to get into the Freeport area to go to school. So that's going to be dealt with. In September, it should be open, so I'm really, really excited about that.
All right, be sure to watch the full 1-hour special. Our Voices presents Echoes of Dorian, 5 Years of Resilience, only on RTV. That's Sunday, September 1st. For clarification, that's 2 Sundays from now. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he's in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Gandino, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. A very warm day, humid around the islands. We had lots of clouds. There's a weak boundary hanging out across us. Show that in our satellite picture. But we are still warm on the outside under partly cloudy skies, and we will call it humid. South winds at 10 miles per hour, and it's bringing in that warm tropical air mass, but your feels like temperature is up there in the mid-90s. 96 is what it feels like on the outside. Taking a look at our current temperatures around the islands, all in the mid-upper 80s, 86 in Freeport, Marshall, Abaco here in the capital. We pick up 85, Alistown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, over in the Big Yard. 88 there, 87 in Great Harbour Key and in Governor's Harbour. Central Bahamas, 87 Kemps Bay, 86 is once again in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, that's in the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Island, as well as in Coburn, Thompson, Salvador, and into the Southeast Bahamas, 86, Duncan Town, Ragged Island, Abrams, Bay, Meguana, Matthewtown, Inagua, pair of 87s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, and Delectable Bay, Acklands, and over in far east, our good neighbors to the south. Turks and Caicos Islands, you guys are at 90 degrees at this hour. Satellite showing just a weak boundary hanging out across the northwest Bahamas, the remnants of a frontal boundary that basically is trying to fall apart, but it backed up towards the north across our area. So we saw some showers and some isolated thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas. High pressure dominates the remainder of the islands, and we're looking for some hot temperatures over the next couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on Our News, Team Bahamas has triumphed once again, repeating as 2024 champions at the Goodwill Games. We'll tell you the stellar performance that helped them clinch first place when Our News returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's Sean Mark Nutt. Let's see the show. The Goodwill Games became a celebration for Team Bahamas as they raced to a first-place finish in the standings. The team won the title for a second consecutive year with a total of 1,485.5 points. They also totaled 141 medals, 55 gold.
When you asked me before we left if we were going to, what I thought about it, I told you we were going to win. The kids delivered for you guys. The coaches are excited for the kids. The kids came out, they performed. They understood the assignment. We're excited, man. I'm happy for us. I'm happy for the kids. And we're coming over with 2 beat.
The UB Mingos hit the road to open the international soccer season. They tied Ave Maria University 0-0. Mingos keeper Joshua Dames had a clean sheet that included 10 saves. Head coach Alex Thompson says they will take the draw to start the season.
Our more experienced players did exactly what we expected them to do. We have 7 freshmen on the trip. 2 of them started, and they all played really well. Not everyone got to get on the pitch today, but we were really relatively happy with the result. It could have gone either way for both teams, but we'll take it.
Whether he's on or off the court, Keno Burrows has dedicated himself to the development of Bahamian basketball. Burrows' Raw Talent Elite organization came from the need to find more opportunities for young Bahamian players.
I made a commitment to come back home and really get involved with the youth, creating opportunities abroad, but also to help with their development and mentorships.
Denzel Daxon saw increased minutes for his second preseason game with the Dallas Cowboys. The rookie defensive lineman had 5 tackles, 3 solo, and a half a sack in the Cowboys' 27-12 win over the Las Vegas Raiders.
That'll do it for Our Sports at 7. Watch Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the United States announces Israel's agreement on a ceasefire proposal, urging Hamas to join negotiations. Plus, 1 dead and 6 missing, including British mogul Mike Lynch after a yacht sinks in a violent Sicilian storm. And Colorado sets precedent with landmark laws protecting neural data as tech giants dive into brain sensing innovations. The story when Our News returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken announced Monday that Israel has agreed to a proposal aimed at bridging gaps for a ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza. He called on Hamas to agree but didn't address the group's concerns. Blinken's comments followed a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and come amidst rising tensions in the region. Blinken will continue negotiations in Egypt and Qatar as mediators push for an agreement to prevent further escalation.
This is a decisive moment, probably the best, maybe the last opportunity to get the hostages home, to get a ceasefire, and to put everyone on a better path to enduring peace and security. I'm here as part of an intensive diplomatic effort on President Biden's instructions to try to get this agreement to the line and ultimately over the line.
At least one person is dead and 6 others, including British software mogul Mike Lynch, are missing after a yacht sank in a violent storm off Sicily's coast. Authorities say the yacht carrying 22 people went down near Porticello early Monday morning. 15 survivors were rescued, including Lynch's wife, but his daughter is among the missing. Rescue operations are ongoing, with experts describing the storm as unusually intense. The cause of the sinking still under investigation. And Luis Abinader was sworn in for his second term as president of the Dominican Republic on Friday. In his inaugural address, Abinader criticized political violence and a lack of transparency following Venezuela's recent elections. He also called for the urgent deployment of a long-awaited security mission to Haiti, but emphasized that the Dominican Republic would not intervene directly. Abinader, who won 58% of the vote in May, secured his re-election on a pro-business platform and a firm stance against corruption and illegal migration from Haiti. And Elon Musk's Neuralink is leading the way in integrating technology with the human mind, but it's not alone. Major tech companies, including Apple, are said to be exploring brain-sensing applications with patents already filed. As brainwave monitoring consumer tech products multiply, Colorado has taken a pioneering step by becoming the first U.S. state to pass a privacy law that protects neural data. This move could spark a wave of similar legislation addressing the growing concern over the commodification of brain data. Colorado's new law expands the definition of sensitive data under its Consumer Protection Act to include neural and other biological data, setting a precedent for protecting individuals' mental privacy as technology continues to evolve. Still to come in Our News, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was August 19th. Then in Our News at 7:30, a cabinet minister faces backlash after her government vehicle was caught in a disabled parking space. Hear her apology and the steps she's taking to make things right. Coming up. And the start date for this year's back-to-school VAT holiday is announced with a new list of eligible items. How parents are already taking advantage of the savings. When Our News returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1992, the Bahamas held general elections after Parliament was dissolved on July 21st. The two main contenders were the ruling Progressive Liberal Party, led by Prime Minister Lyndon Pindling, and the Free National Movement, led by Hubert Ingram. The F&M won 33 of the 49 contested seats, marking its first electoral victory and ending the PLP's 25-year hold on government. Hubert Ingram became the new Prime Minister 2 days later. In 2022, the F&M celebrated the 30th anniversary of this historic win. In 2019, a tropical wave formed off the coast of West Africa, which later developed into Hurricane Dorian, one of the most powerful storms on record, with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. Dorian impacted the Caribbean, the Bahamas, and the eastern United States. On August 19th, 2020, then Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis reversed a 7-day lockdown, leading to massive lines at grocery stores, gas stations, and pharmacies as people rushed to stock up on essentials. And in 2021, the election bell rang for the snap election on September 16th that year.
It is time for you, the people, to choose who you will elect to form the next government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is now time for the Bahamian people to choose who they want to lead them as we move towards vaccinating every Bahamian who wishes to be vaccinated.
To watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Atalia Hall with the latest headlines. Atalia?
Thanks so much, Ken. Well, coming up, a cabinet minister faces backlash after her government vehicle was caught in a disabled parking space. Plus, the start date for this year's back-to-school VAT holiday is announced. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. Have you started your back-to-school shopping yet? Well, now may be the perfect time as the Department of Inland Revenue announces dates for the annual VAT holiday. But first, a police officer caught on the wrong side of the law. We have details from the magistrate's court coming up. Plus, a 42-year-old motorcyclist killed in a fatal crash on Grand Bahama. Here, Y1 resident says the area is a concern. And later, the Housing and Urban Renewal State Minister says sorry after her government-issued vehicle was seen in a handicapped parking space. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Well, what you doing here?
I dig in the well to connect to the house they're building for me and Mavis.
Why you just don't call Water and Surge?
Call them for what?
To get your city water. You don't have to worry about your water cutting off when the power cut off. And your water's clean and safe, free from coliform bacteria.
Cauliflower what?
Call us at 302-5500 to make the switch from well water to city water for a more fresh, reliable water supply for you and your family.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
As we mark this landmark achievement, I am reminded of the journey that brought us here. A journey characterized by vision, collaboration, perseverance, and not to be forgotten, some sleepless nights. We saw the potential for a sustainable future that could empower our local communities and set a benchmark in the global shift towards renewable energy. The Fairfield
Welcome to our news. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. A police officer found himself on the wrong side of the law after prosecutors say he tried to sell a stolen car. Constable Randy Hanna faced charges of fraud by false pretenses and stealing at his arraignment before Magistrate Raquel Wims. Prosecutors allege a 28-year-old stole a Toyota Passo valued at $4,500 from Wellington Gray in April 2024. Hanna allegedly obtained $4,500 from Kyron Seymour when he tried to sell the stolen car to him in June. Hanna denied the allegations at his arraignment. Bail was set at $3,500 and he's required to report to the Kwaku Street Police Station on the 1st of each month until his trial is done. Hanna's trial is set for October 29th. A 42-year-old motorcyclist is dead following a fatal crash on Grand Bahama Sunday. Investigators say it happened shortly before 9 p.m. on Seahorse Road near Coral Court and involved a black GMC Yukon XL and a red and yellow Kawasaki 336 ZX6 motorcycle. The motorcyclist was riding north on Seahorse Road when the man driving the GMC SUV was headed in the opposite direction when the crash occurred. The victim was severely injured in the crash but was alive when EMS personnel transported him to hospital. He later died. We spoke to a resident in the community who did not speak on the incident itself but says the area that the fatality took place is a dangerous intersection.
It's a 4-lane carriageway, and so therefore you have persons probably looking in just one direction and not looking in 4-way before they cross the road. But there's been a number of vehicular accidents on this corner in my 31 years as a resident at number 4 Shearwater Drive. There's been a number of vehicular accidents. As a matter of fact, there was one Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, 2-car collision at the very same location where the young man lost his life.
The resident says a roundabout may solve the issues, but he believes road users are driving without due care and attention.
We now in the age of technology and AI, and people spend a lot of time on their phone. Their cell phone is a serious addiction. It's a serious addiction. People are driving with their heads down, looking at their device, are texting while driving. It's a bad combination, and that's causing a major problem on the streets of Grand Bahama, New Providence. That distraction is taking lives. It's not.
Well, Phase 1A and B of the new Freeport Health Campus located in Grand Bahama's Lucaya area is expected to be complete by June 2025. That confirmation coming from Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville recently during a tour of the site. The healthcare facility will be multi-purpose and will include a research hub, an oncology center, and a tertiary institution. Dr. Darville sharing detailed plans for the health campus, which he says will cater to patients across the northern Bahamas.
A lot of people may not know, but the Rand Memorial Hospital is not classified as a full hospital. There are memorandums of understanding with some subspecialties that is tied in with the Princess Margaret Hospital. With this particular facility, we intend to resolve that and begin to open up this new northern hospital to the northern region, inclusive of Abaco, Bimini, and the Berry Islands. And when we break ground on the new facility in New Providence, it will be tied into the southern region, where it will be the southern Bahamas, and the two hospitals will be working together, all as a master plan for us to launch universal healthcare coverage by way of national health insurance, where the Bahamian people can have access to top-of-the-line tertiary healthcare services, and we can do a better job with more clinical and surgical outcomes throughout the country.
Still in the healthcare sector, the Emergency Management Services Department says they're making do with just 4 functional ambulances that are currently in service in the capital, and with the frequent number of traffic accidents and crime-related incidents. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says they're buying more, 14 to be exact. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville says they've already purchased and are on the way.
In terms of the number of ambulances we have available in New Providence, ideally we should have about 20 operational ambulances, which allows us to swap the fleet in and out for maintenance service and for any repairs. At this point in time, we have 4 ambulances operational on the streets of New Providence. So we're essentially working under the desired amount.
And that was Dr. Brennan, who says they're actively working to cut down their response time.
It's difficult to give you an idealistic number in terms of how quickly we'd like to actually get to our patients. Based on other EMS services worldwide, the window between 5 and 10 minutes would be idealistic, if not necessarily unrealistic in most scenarios. But those few minutes can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. So we are always working towards lowering our response times, either by positioning ambulances in different locations around the island so that they have a shorter route time for response, and also by using data and analytics to identify areas that are hotspots for certain activity.
Well, Minister of State for Housing and Urban Renewal Lisa Ramming apologizing after photos of her government-issued vehicle parked in a disabled parking space went viral over the weekend. In a statement, Ramming says it was her aide who parked in the designated handicap parking space. She adds she's since spoken to the aide about respecting parking spaces marked for people with disabilities. Ramming also references her previous role as Minister of State for Social Service, saying, "I understand only to how well access and accommodation can make all the difference in the lives of individuals who depend on such spaces for mobility and independence." The statement closed with an apology from the state minister. Well, the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union says they're still in the dark when it comes to the ongoing school repairs. Having schools repaired in time for the new school year has been a decades-long issue for the Ministries of Works and Education. The Bahamas Teachers Union has expressed doubt that repairs will be completed on time this year. Classes at government schools start on September 2nd, and with less than 2 weeks left before then, Ben Mew Executive Vice President Ishmael Smith says they've yet to be briefed.
We've not received a comprehensive or a scope of works that's supposed to be happening nationally. We do know that there are teams on schools, but we can't speak to the state and the progress nationally, what's going on, like I said, because we've not had or received from the ministry a comprehensive report or scope works for us to be able to speak effectively to that.
Although out of the country, the union's president, Stephen McPhee, says members of his union are disappointed that other concerns have not been addressed. Smith says while the union has not had as much dialogue with the ministry over the repairs matter, they're working on improving that relationship.
The union has made suggestions to the ministry. Those are things that we are in constant contact and communication with them on, and making suggestions with regards to process and the timing of when school repairs start or when scopes are done. That's something that's an ongoing thing. It's something that is being worked on. We are moving towards a more supportive and interactive role with the ministry, anticipating that, they grow into that and change into that, but it is something that happens. It's a perennial issue.
All right, well, the Department of Inland Revenue announcing the official start date for the back-to-school value-added tax holiday this year. There are several items on the list, which some business owners in Grand Bahama says parents have already started purchasing for their children. Let's take a look.
I know parents are looking forward to it because I'm a grandmother, so I'm looking forward to it also.
The back-to-school VAT holiday began on Sunday, August 18th and will end on Saturday, September 14th, giving parents about 4 weeks to purchase supplies. There are a wide range of items included on the back-to-school list this year, from personal computers, including electronic book readers, laptops, desktops, tablets less than $3,000 per unit, cellular phones, video game consoles, digital media receivers or devices are excluded. Computer-related accessories like keyboards and routers, $1,000 or less per unit, are also on the list. As for non-electronic items, pens, pencils, markers, crayons, erasers, notebooks, and books are on the list. Supervisor Mary Thompson at H&L School Supplies on Grand Bahama is encouraging parents to take advantage of the savings.
We have the books, the pencil, the lunch bags, the backpacks, rulers, pencils, sharpeners, crayons, colored pencils, everything you're looking for.
According to the VAT-free list, parents can also get hair accessories for their children, but that excludes hair extensions, frontal, wigs, hats, and caps. As for other miscellaneous items, disinfectant wipes, hand sanitizers, and face masks are VAT-free. Bags including pencil cases, pencil boxes, school bags, and beverage holders as well. At one of the oldest department stores on Grand Bahama Park and Shop, officials are looking forward to the month-long discounts.
Normally going back to school, we tend to have an extra boost of business, a little better than we normally would have.
All clothing uniforms or fabric for uniforms and belts less than $100 per unit are VAT-free. Also footwear, shoes, tennis, socks, and stockings. John West Shoe Store, located on Grand Bahama and New Providence, have a variety of footwear for students to choose from. Stephanie Ford says the VAT holiday is a win for parents and business owners.
You're able to maximize your buys. And so come on down, take advantage of it because the savings is great. This morning, we had a whole lot of people in taking advantage of it. And I am so happy for our customers that they can save. And it also boosts a little business for us because this morning we did see a boost in business.
Now, to read the full list, you can visit www.inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs. All right, sounds exciting. Well, cloudy skies in the capital on this Monday. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome everybody for a quick check on conditions outside our studios and around the islands. 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. We will call it humid. It feels like a very warm 96 degrees, and we are getting that southerly wind, which is bringing that tropical warm air mass across our area. Satellite showing a weak boundary, remnants of frontal boundary that dropped into the area over the last couple of days back towards the north. So it lends support for some showers and thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas. High pressure dominates the remainder of the islands. That's your quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, a devastating diagnosis. Our Marlena Leonard tells the story of a 5-year-old who is in need of your help tonight. This as he's been diagnosed with cancer. When Our News returns, stay with us.
As we mark this landmark achievement, I am reminded of the journey that brought us here. A journey characterized by vision, collaboration, perseverance, and not to be forgotten, some sleepless nights. We saw the potential for a sustainable future that could empower our local communities and set a benchmark in the global shift towards renewable energy. The Fairfield site stands as a beacon of potential that highlights what is achievable when we come together for a common cause. The energy produced here will not only power homes and businesses, but it will also power economic growth and provide a cleaner, more sustainable environment for future generations. Here's to a brighter, cleaner, and more sustainable future for all. Thank you.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique... It's the news every parent dreads hearing. The news that your child has cancer. That's the nightmare Deandra Heinze has been living since her 5-year-old son, Prince, was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer back in May. Prince has been a champ throughout his cancer treatments, but now they're asking for the public's help to get him over the final stretch of the cancer-free finish. Marlena Leonard has the story.
You like being in the hospital?
Yeah.
You don't go home?
Yeah.
I want you to come home too.
While most kids enjoyed their summer vacations, 5-year-old Prince Hinsey has been in the fight of his life after he was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer in May. For his mother, DeAndrea Hinsey, hearing the words was a hard pill to swallow. But the family wasted no time, and after weeks of chemotherapy, Prince was cleared for surgery to remove his tumor. While his mother tells us his only fear so far had been needles, he told her he was scared to do the surgery.
I went on YouTube, and before any procedure that he did, I would show him, okay, see, this is the CT scan. You see the other children are going through, look like a donut, look like a spaceship. You're going to have to go through this tomorrow. And I would show him, okay, well, this is the surgery. You see this little baby? She is 3 months. She's a baby, Prince, and she has this cut. You're going to have a cut like this, too. She had cancer. And so that is how I got him prepped for most of the things that he had to do.
And there's another layer to Prince's condition that made the surgery success all the more important.
The twist to this is that his left kidney never worked. Yeah. It's small, dysfunctional, never worked. And so he's only ever lived off of the right kidney that had the, I think, 16 centimeter or so tumor.
The surgery was a success, but now that the tumor's been removed, the next step is radiation to prevent the reoccurrence of the cancer.
The fact that this kidney is all that we have to deal with it, she don't want a reoccurrence, because if you were to Google Wilms tumor, you would know that, sometimes, a lot of times, even though the cancer itself is responsible for the treatment, you have a high chance of it reoccurring.
But the radiation comes at a high price. At almost $17,000, it's something they need the public's help with, since doctors want to start as soon as possible.
They can contact me and I would direct them to either the PMH or the Bahamas Radiation if they want to assist directly. Other than that, it's been mostly because I would have done some sponsor sheets where I asked persons, for $5 donations, and that would have been mostly for medication. Sometimes the hospital calls spontaneous. Prince needs this, he needs that. Pediasure, different things like that, just maintenance, just hospital maintenance.
The family also has a GoFundMe page where donations can be made. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, Bahamas Aquatics claims its second consecutive Goodwill Games title. We'll bring you the latest from St. Lucia.
And a nice start to the work week. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when Our News returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision is actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra.
What are you? Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
Coverage from the 28th edition of the Goodwill Games is brought to you by KFC.
Finger licking good.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinet. Let's do show. That's a wrap on the Goodwill Games, and it was back-to-back titles for Team Bahamas. Here's Sasha Lightbourne with the details.
Just gold and other medals. Records were broken too. With over 1,400 points, Team Bahamas annihilated the field from day one to become the 2024 Goodwill Games champs in St. Lucia. On the final day, swimmers took home gold, silver, and bronze and dominated several of the relays. Head coach Dwayne Davis Jr.
I told you we were going to win. The kids delivered for you guys. The coaches are excited for the kids. The kids came out, they performed. They understood the assignment. We're excited, man. I'm happy for us. I'm happy for the kids. And we're coming over with 2 beats.
And he spoke about our dominance in the relays as well.
Kids been together all summer. We got them together early to build like chemistry early. So we had the chemistry go in. Everyone's feeding off of one another. Everyone is excited. That's why we got a lot of fast swims. We got a lot of records. And yeah, Team Bahamas to the world.
And more good news. The Bahamas may host the 29th edition of the Goodwill Games next year. Speaking exclusively with Our News about the matter was Bahamas Aquatics Federation President Algernon Cargo.
Subject to approval from the government of the Bahamas, because we need the government's approval to host. The Goodwill Game Congress agreed that the 2025 games will be in long course meters and in the Bahamas. Everyone is excited to come to the Bahamas because of the great job we did in hosting Carifta 2024. And also they see the performance of our athletes here. So they want to come and experience what we do there that makes us so different. To now dominate Goodwill for 2 consecutive years and Carifta for 6 consecutive years.
Now the team is currently en route back to New Providence and scheduled to land just before midnight. We'll have more from the swimmers and news on Team Bahamas' overall total points and medals in tomorrow's newscast. Reporting from St. Lucia for Our News and Our Sports, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
The UB Mingos hit the road to open the international soccer season. They tied Ave Maria University 0-0. Mingos keeper Joshua Dames had a clean sheet that included 10 saves. Head coach Alex Thompson says they will take the draw to start the season.
Our more experienced players did exactly what we expected them to do. We have 7 freshmen on the trip. 2 of them started, and they all played really well. Not everyone got to get on the pitch today, but we were really relatively happy with the result. It could have gone either way for both teams, but we'll take it.
Keno Burrows has had an iconic career on the court, and he's now shifted his focus to helping others follow a similar path. Burrows' raw talent elite organization has continually added to the Bahamian pipeline, both in the United States and in France. A 15-year pro and national team veteran, Burrows said the bond of Bahamas basketball has been key in youth development.
And I never dreamed 5 years ago. I just wanted to come back home and make a difference. And now it started with a kid like Dominic Bridgewater who didn't have any opportunity, and he came and he made something of it. And now he opened the door for all these other young, talented Bahamians coming out of college.
That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. They had to celebrate us in St. Lucia as much as they did Julian Alfred.
Lone goal.
Back to the studio.
Thanks, Ronaldo. Well, nice weather conditions in the capital to start off the work week. Greg is back with your weather details when Our News continues. Stay with us.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
This is our weather. Welcome back. We are looking at a weak boundary that's hanging out across the northwest Bahamas, providing some showers and thunderstorm activity across that area. We saw one or two severe thunderstorm warnings earlier this morning, but most of the activity is waning as we speak. That front boundary will continue to meander across the area, so we're looking for some continued showers and possibly some isolated thunderstorms during that time. Ernesto strengthened back to a hurricane. It's now quickly moving towards the northeast and away from Bermuda, leaving some swells really across most of the eastern seaboard as well as here in the capital and around the rest of the islands. So we're asking you boaters to exercise caution, especially in those Atlantic waters. The remainder of the tropics, quiet, a couple of tropical waves across the tropical belt, nothing organized at this time, and of course tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 7 days. Future forecast showing the moisture hanging out across the area that will persist through to Tuesday, and as I mentioned, that front or remnants of it will meander across the area, and it should stay in place just to the north of the Bahamas by Wednesday afternoon. Boating forecast, northwest Bahamas, caution flag for the Atlantic waters, south to southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet near shore, and in sheltered areas up to 5 feet along the Atlantic exposures. High tide will be at 8:24 tonight, low at 2:40 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag in the Atlantic waters for you there also. Winds will be southeast to south, low at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep some off and on showers during the day throughout the remainder of the week. But by Friday, we expect a little bit of a weak boundary to once again get back in here. So we're looking for some increased shower chances during that time frame. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg, and thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight on behalf of the entire team. I'm Italia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.